Welcome back to Live at 9. It's a Wellness Wednesday with Mississippi's favorite doctor, Dr. Quinn, and he's got a big smile on his face. Although during his runs this morning and I guess in the evenings, it gets darker a little bit late because we're in daylight saving time. And Dr. Quinn, can that be something that affects your body a little bit?
Most definitely. There's a great deal of research supporting the fact that daylight savings time, especially this particular change in time, can negatively impact your health physically and mentally.
And why is that? Is that just because we're changing the amount of sun that we get, or is it just that the time changes, so maybe your sleep schedule's off?
Well, the information that's being provided in the research community as far as your mental health is the fact that you get less sunlight, but you get it at different times of the day. Sunlight is actually because it works with your own body's natural hormones to include your melatonin. And when you go into the winter part of daylight savings time, your melatonin level is decreased, and it makes it so that your sleep cycles or your circadian rhythms are out of whack, and most people get less sleep. But theoretically, you would think you get more sleep because it gets dark earlier. But what it does for majority of people that were researched is they get less sleep and they're more irritable. That can cause increases in other hormones such as cortisol, which could raise your blood pressure, putting you at a higher risk for diabetes or even cardiovascular disease. So it's something that really is being considered in the scientific community.
Yeah, I really want to highlight one specific thing you said right there, which is you would think that you would be getting more sleep when you turn the clock back an hour, and that may be just true for that one night. But in reality, over the average, you actually may be losing sleep.
That is what's being cited in the research. That is correct.
Yeah, and one more time, why is that? That's so interesting.
Right, because as I said, we have what are called circadian rhythms, and it helps us so that we can sleep on a normal sleep cycle. But when those circadian rhythms get thrown off because of our hormones, to include our melatonin and our other hormones, it makes it so that we get less sleep, more irritable, increases in the hormone cortisol, which can theoretically raise our blood pressure, and in some cases it does for a lot of people, but it also raises our blood glucose levels, putting us at a higher risk for either pre-diabetes or diabetes, with other medical problems to follow down the road.
Is this something that you would suggest getting rid of as a United States? I mean, I know that sounds kind of funny, and I guess I'm asking you something more of an opinion based than actual scientific, but it does have some science in it. Is this something you would suggest that America just move away from and just keep the time the same?
Well, it's not me suggesting it. When I did my preparation for this interview, there are a lot of scientists, universities that are fact-based, research-driven, that are giving pleas to legislators to consider this as far as for the general overall health of America, which is so important. So it's not a Dr. Quinn decision. It's a decision on the scientific community on a whole.
Yeah, that's so interesting. And when we turn the clocks forward, is that something that could affect us as well?
Well, it helps a lot of people because people tend to do better during the other phase of the cycle when we have getting dark later, because most people will sleep better and then they'll wake up well rested with those hormones down, such as your cortisol, better blood pressure, better blood glucose levels, decreased depression, decreased anxiety, and just overall better health.
So is this just kind of, I guess, revolving around the idea that we're just getting less sunlight when the clocks are this way because we leave work and it's dark now? If you're a 9 to 5 like a lot of us are, that you're waking up, you're not generally outside, you get to work, and then when you leave work, it's dark outside.
Right. And for a lot of people like me that like to go exercise when you get off work, then that's not an option anymore because it's dangerous to run outside when it's dark.
That's so interesting. The stuff I learn on a Wellness Wednesday with Dr. Quinn, but I guess that's kind of why we bring you in here, right?
Yes, sir, and I appreciate every opportunity.